On the proposal of the U.S. president to take over Gaza, global affairs analyst Jide Ojo joins me from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. Good to have you join us on World Now. Donald Trump is proposing that the U.S. takes over Gaza. Very ambitious. Is it simply a fantasy? And is the American president biting more than he can actually chew?
The truth is, Donald Trump is rearing for war in the Middle East. In his inauguration speech on January 20, he claimed that he wants to be a unifier, a peacemaker, but obviously he's not in office to maintain peace and order. How could you be saying that people should be uprooted from their home states and dispersed across two other countries? What kind of solution is that? There have been a two-state solution on ground for over several decades, which has not been implemented just because of the bias of the American government, who have hitherto been supportive of Israel. And while I concede that Israel has a right to exist, we must also realize that the people of Palestine also have a right to exist. And you cannot just uproot them and turn the place to a Rivera. Who takes care? I agree with the Turkish president that Donald Trump hasn't read the history very well. Because you took a man's land and you are still saying that it should not exist. How do they want the Palestinians that he wants to uproot from Gaza to fare in Jordan or in Egypt if they are taken there? How would they survive? What would be their means of survival in those countries where they will have to be paying rent for everything and they're looking for means of employment? These people have not complained that they cannot rebuild their homes. And I like the position of Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, who said that the world should assist the the Palestinian people in Gaza to rebuild. That is the best way to support these people. The whole conflict has been fanned and exacerbated by the bias of America in support of Israel against the other their Arabian neighbors.
All right. And, Saudi Arabia is on that growing list of countries that have actually condemned President Trump's proposal, calling instead for an independent Palestinian state. But could this request see the light of day?
Of course, it will, because from all indications, it's only the Donald Trump that has put that proposal for. No other country has been in support. Even his European Union allies and United Kingdom, who have been a long-standing ally of US, have not been in support. All the allies they have in the Middle East, like Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Egypt, have all condemned it. So where does that leave Donald Trump or even the state of Israel? If you want peace, prepare for war. And these Palestinians have faced genocidal, onslaught against them in such a way that you want to know whether the right to life is still being guaranteed under the United Nations Convention on Human Rights. Because I don't understand. You have promoted these people, you've reduced their entire homeland to rubble, and they are glad to go back and rebuild, and you are now saying that they should be dispersed from their land, and then you turn the place to a Rivera. What kind of absurd offer is that? So Donald Trump
I hear you. Yes, but I'm just curious.
The world is united against that position.
Okay, so you're saying that Donald Trump is alone, is walking solo on this particular path. But how might this development now impact the fragile ceasefire and hostage release deal currently on between Israel and Hamas?
It remains to be seen, because with this, a mediator is supposed to fashion a win-win solution. But obviously, the American government under Donald Trump is not even looking in that direction of a win-win solution. He wants a winner's take all for the state of Israel. Like I said earlier on, I do not have anything against the state of Israel. They have a right to exist, just the same way that the Palestinians have a right to exist. And a two-way solution has been on the table for decades, since the time of, even I think before Ronald Reagan. So what needs to be done is that the world, including the United Nations, must pressure American government to back a two-state solution.
All right.
That's why not just America, not just the United Nations, even the European Union, UK, and other allies must be resolute and be resilient that unless there is a two-way solution, what Donald Trump is putting on offer is a no-no, which will not be accepted by any global community worth its salt. So
right. I hear you, so Joe. I hear you, but then you've recommended that the United Nations, and others step in. But how strong is their voice, considering that already even Donald Trump is pulling out of some alliances? He's pulled out of the UN Human Rights Council. He's out of the World Health Organization, and he's looking at other things. How strong? Because it just also appears that these bodies are like toothless bulldogs. Is there really much they can do?
Well, there is a lot they can do. Right now, I'm so happy that the long-term allies of the U.S., like Saudi Arabia, like Jordan, like Egypt, like Turkey, all of them are very unanimous. And, they are going to isolate America and Israel. That is what it means. And when you face international isolation, it then means that you have to backtrack from your initial position, because obviously, this is not a reasonable offer at all. I think, yes, United Nations may be facing serious financial crisis at this point, but nevertheless, they still have a voice. After all, there are other members of the UN Security Council who can also vote. I expect France, Germany, China, India, all of them to speak out against this attempt to disperse the Palestinians from their homeland. And when the entire world is speaking with one voice, sooner than later, I believe that Donald Trump will backtrack. He has taken so many missteps in his less than 1 month in office. Look at what he has done with the United States Agency for International Development. And like you rightly pointed out, he has pulled the U.S. out of WHO, World Health Organization. He has put them out of Paris climate agreement and all of that. But that is not new. That was what he did in his first term in office. And so it's just a rehash of what he is known to have done in time past. But the entire world must be united against this position, not to fashion a two-state solution to resolving the Middle East crisis. Unless that is done, like it is said, Abba said, no matter how long you go in the wrong direction, unless you return and go on the right path, you are not going to end well. You are not going to get to your destination at all. So I think the United Nations, I think the American citizens, American Congress and Senate must also rein in Donald Trump. They must rein in him because he's acting like a loose cannon. And this is not in the best interest of America. America is known to stand for democracy and the democratic consolidation across the world. Why is that their separate application of the word of democracy in the case of Palestine? And while it is true that Israel and America have superior technology and military might, but you have to be very mindful of even the Lilliputs, because, as we say in local parlance, while it is true that the fly may not, something cannot make a cow, but the cripple, a leper cannot milk a cow, but he can spill the milk.
All right.
He can spill the milk, and that's what was responsible for this October 7 aggression on Israel some 2 years ago.
Okay.
And you could see that in spite of the genocidal attack on the Gazans, on the Palestinians, they have forever been very resilient, and they are unbound, and they maintain their position that even they will die fighting. So
all right, we can go on and on. You know, we can go on and on discussing this, but then we really do not have, a lot of time on our hands to deal with that. Already a Palestinian-American member of the U.S. Congress, Rashida Tlaib, has accused President Trump of openly calling for ethnic cleansing. We'll wait to see how it pans out in the days ahead. Global Affairs analyst Jide Ojo, thank you for your time on World Now.
It's my pleasure, Ambassador. Keep safe and stay blessed.
Let's take a quick break.